Good morning, children. How are you all? Hope you all are fit and fine. I am your social studies teacher, Mrs. Sheetal Thapa. As we all know that due to corona pandemic, the whole country is struggling and the education is hampering. So, we have started giving online classes to continue our studies. Now, it will help us to cover the syllabus and maintain the flow of study. So, let us start with our syllabus.
Of you take out your social studies book, that is Learnwell Social Studies. Your first lesson is our past. What is the meaning of past? Past means the time before present. So we'll study about our past, means that we'll study about the time before our present. History. What is the meaning of history? History means the study of past events. Past, I told you, the time before present. So the time before present means in the past, whatever the events happened in the past, we'll study about those events. Then this is known as history. Now, why do we need to study history? What is the need to study history? We'll study the reasons here. First, to understand the gradual changes that have taken place in human life. Whatever the slow changes are taking place in human life, we'll understand them. Then, to understand and mold our present as well as future. To understand and to shape our present and future. Now, to understand how do the people behaved in a particular way in the past and why did they behave like that, then it inspires us by the brave acts of our forefather. Who was our forefather? Our ancestors. Now, what did they do bravely? So we'll study by studying about them. We come to know, and it inspires us, and we also come to know about the great discoveries and inventions done in the past. Whatever the great discoveries and inventions were done in our past. Now, periods in history. As I told you, history is the study of the past when the written records were available from that time. Now, the phase of our past before the development of writing. Now, when the writing was not developed, it was not started. Before that time, that phase of our past, it is called prehistory. Pre means before history. History was started when the writing records were available, then the history started, and before that is known as prehistory, means before history. Now the Indian history is divided into three periods. First is ancient period, then medieval period, and the third is modern period. And these were set upon following criteria, like types of people, events took place, languages spoken, food habits, clothes, and activities of people. So let us learn about all the three periods. Now the first is ancient period. Ancient period, it does exist 5,000 years ago. Now when was it started? It was started just after the birth of Jesus Christ, and it continued till 700 years, and it was the time of almost 650 CE. CE. CE means common era, or it is the period just after the birth of Jesus Christ. This period was started. Now the second point is the sacred books called Vedas were developed during this period. During this period, what was developed? The sacred book called Vedas were developed. Now in this period, Vedas were developed, so this period was known as Vedic age. It was known as a Vedic age, and Vedas these are the oldest known books, and it contains all the lifestyle of the people of that period. And in this period, the language spoken was Sanskrit. Only Sanskrit language was spoken or written in that period, in this language only. In this period, the main occupation, the main work of the people was agriculture. In this period, people used to do agriculture. And in this period only, famous epics, you all know the famous epics like Mahabharata and Ramayana, this were also written. And in this period, people used to live in groups. Like each group had a ruler called Rajan, and with time, the Rajan became the king of the of a larger region. So this was about ancient period. Moving on, second, medieval period. This period was started from 647 CE to about 1700 CE. As I told you, CE means common era, just after the birth of Jesus Christ. This period, this CE was started. First, there was the development of art. In this period, art was developed, culture was developed, and the languages were also developed. Second, through trade, there was a great deal of exchange of culture, music, religion, and language. And through trade, these were also the deals were also done, like exchange of culture, exchange of music, religion, and language. And in this period, the main occupation, the main work of the people was farming. Then there was a rise in many kingdoms and dynasties during this period. And during this period, what was there? Kingdoms and dynasties were established. By the end of the medieval period, when the medieval period was about to over, the British has conquered most of India. Means they conquered most part of India. The British conquered. Like in this period, the British took control in most part of India forcefully. Okay. As I told you, during this period, there was a rise in many kingdoms and dynasties. Dynasties means powerful and famous families. Na? So, for example, famous monuments like Qutub Minar, the Taj Mahal, the Red Fort, the Char Minar, and many others were also constructed during this period. Now the third and the last one is modern period. This was started about 1700 CE and it is continuing till date. Now here the British ruled India for almost 200 years. For 200 years the British rule, and the time was from 1757 CE to 1947 CE. Second, now during this period, the Indian National Congress was also formed in 1885. And when the Indian National Congress was formed, the people, common people of India, they started getting involved in national politics. Now it has marked many developments and we are continuing with it. Means many developments have been done during this period and still we are developing with. Then the two most important events of the modern period. Two most important events were, first of all, we got freedom from India, freedom from British rule in this period, during this period, and the partition of India was also done in during this period into India and Pakistan. So we have done the our history, the past, and it's 3 periods also we have done. So I hope you all have understood these topics. And in case you have any queries regarding these topics, you can mail me and ask your queries. Now you have to make a new notebook of social studies for the homework which I'll be giving from today, and you have to do it in neat and good handwriting. Okay, so thank you so much for today.